Welcome back. I just finished watching Dragon Ball GT episode 27, and I'm going to give my thoughts on it. Last time I said Goten died. Goten did not die. Goten survived. I want to make that clear. I'm pretty sure Piccolo is still dead, but Goten did survive. And we got... Oh, by the way, again, with the Vegeta stuff, loved the little part at the beginning of this episode where Vegeta, breaks the wheel off of those guys' car, and they, go flying into the ocean and all that. I love little moments like that. But onto the plot. I might recap stuff in a bit of a non-linear fashion this episode. Basically, the things that happen is Goku, Pan, and Trunks get the last Dragon Ball, and then there's the conflict with Baby and Vegeta. So Baby, as Gohan, goes to fight Vegeta in order to take over Vegeta's body. And Baby reveals that he is part of a race called the Sufurians. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm pretty sure I'm Sufurians. I've heard it pronounced a few times before. I think, is the dub name Tuffles? I don't know. I'm going with Sufurians. I know I'm probably not pronouncing that with the most articulated fashion, but anyway, and the Sufurians are one of the many races that the Saiyans sort of conquered and genocided and all that back in their days when they did that sort of stuff, because the Saiyans were not good people. So basically, the Sufurians created a virus, like a parasitic virus, and injected their leaders' memories and stuff, and fused together and all that, and sent it out into space. And that's what Baby is. He's basically the mind of the Sufurians as a virus. You know what I mean? And so basically, he also lays eggs in the people that he's taken over, and so the people that he's taken over work for him even after he's left their bodies. And so Goten and Gohan, under the control of Baby, fight Vegeta, and Vegeta loses and gets taken over by Baby. And so basically the Earth is doomed, okay? The Earth is doomed. Yeah, I'm thinking, I already knew this, but I'm definitely thinking now that by the time Goku, Pan, and Trunks get back, just the entire Earth is going to be taken over by Baby. But I love that, we have these sort of one arc very slowly leading into the other. I find it really interesting how, the Black Star Dragon Ball arc and the Baby arc are sort of there isn't a definite, they're so blended with each other that there's no point at which one definitively ends and the other definitively begins. I mean, if you want to get technical, then the first episode where they see Baby for the first time, that's technically where you could say the Baby arc begins. But it's this intense, there's an arc overlap, you know what I mean? But yeah, so since I've been going on a lot about the fighting, I think I'll address the fighting in this episode. The fight in this episode was actually quite a bit better than the previous fights we've gotten. It's still nothing incredible, but I enjoyed this fight more than the previous fights. You know what I mean? I enjoyed this more than last episode, which had Goten versus Baby and Gohan versus Baby. I enjoyed this fight more than those. I like this better than Goku versus Rild. I just thought, it had more a bit more tension, you know what I mean? There was a bit more action with it, a bit more physicality, a bit more all of that, you know what I mean? It was still not amazing or anything, but I think it's an improvement, a slight improvement. So yeah, we're getting like it's basically the end of the Black Star Dragon Ball arc, which is what I have been wanting to happen since the beginning of the Black Star Dragon Ball arc, which I feel bad for saying, but it's true. I did not like the Black Star Dragon Ball arc. I was very, I was very tired of it. Um, it was not engaging me in any way. I didn't like its format. I didn't like its style. I'm definitely way more engaged by the baby arc, like the stuff that's happening with baby now. Like, even if I have my problems with it, I'm like invested and entertained in what's happening. And I'm like, oh, how are they gonna get out of this? How are they gonna get out of this one? What's gonna happen next? It's like I'm I'm like very interested. I'm interested in Baby as a villain. He's a really interesting idea for a villain, like having a like one of the like races that the Saiyans attack to be the like coming back for revenge. Like that's a really creative way to tie in the history. And like I think that's a fantastic idea, cuz usually like these Dragon Ball villains just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like usually it's like we need a villain. Here is one. He has shown up. Like, and then they retroactively are like, okay, well here's how it happened, like in retrospect. But here I feel like it's like, yes, you know what I mean? Like this is of like a a villain that feels like, oh, of course that would be, you know, someone who would come back for revenge, and it just makes sense. It just clicks. With that said, it was a really, like, looking back on it now, it was a really weird way to introduce him, like having him be part of like Dr. Mu's sort of experiments. Like I don't know if like that was really weird, like looking back on it, how they basically just dumped one villain for a better one. I mean, I will, like, yes, you heard me right, this is a better villain than Dr. Mu. Not that Dr. Mu was setting a very high standard, but you guys have no idea how happy I am that we're just done with all the Dr. Mu stuff and all the Black Star Dragon Ball stuff. Like, I was not interested in that. Like, I was vaguely entertained. I wasn't bored. Some episodes were painful to get through, but you have no idea how happy I am that we're just onto something better. It's not great. It's not incredible. It's not mind-blowing, but it's better. You know what I mean? I am wondering, though. If I were to binge watch, just go all of Dragon Ball, all of Dragon Ball Z, and then right into GT, episode after episode after episode, I do wonder if the sort of not low stakes, but sort of lull of the Black Star Dragon Ball arc would help. Because, like, here's the interesting thing. Because as you may or may not know, basically the first 3 Dragon Ball series all happened back to back to back, no breaks in between. So a new episode came out every single week, and when it was time to transition from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, there was no break or hiatus or anything. It was just 1 week, you know, you got an episode of Dragon Ball. If you're living in Japan in the 80s, you got the last episode of Dragon Ball, and then the very next week, on schedule, just without missing a beat, it was the first episode of Dragon Ball GT. I mean, not Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Z, as if it were just a continuation of Dragon Ball, which it is, you know, like just the next episode of Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball GT was the same. So where you got the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, and then very next week, first episode of Dragon Ball GT, with no break. And so a part of me wonders if they very purposefully planned it out like that for it to be like, well, we don't want to launch right into the next big villain because we just had Majin Buu. I mean, we had like a little bit of stuff with, like, you know, the wrap up and the 10 years time skip and all that. But I'm wondering if it's like, well, we don't want to jump right into the next big villain with Majin Buu. Maybe we'll give it a little bit of time and then we'll build up to it. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if that was the thought process. But if that's the case, then I don't know. I think like the Black Star Dragon Ball arc was not the method to go if that was the plan. But it's always interesting looking back and looking at things in context and all that. But yeah. So I'm still looking forward to what's happening next. Like Dragon Ball GT, I'm actually beginning to like enjoy myself watching the show. Like, I know we're only a few episodes, like, I'm sure technically we're pretty, like, if you want to get specific, then we are pretty far into the baby arc at this point, because he's been around for quite a few episodes. But like, I consider the real start of the baby arc to be the episode where he first lands on Earth. That being episode 25. And so, like, to me, we're only 3 episodes into the baby arc. I think this is really refreshing compared to the rest of Dragon Ball GT so far. I am, like, it feels weird to say it, because, like, for my entire life, I've heard nothing but people trashing Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Z, people overpraise Dragon Ball Z. I've heard nothing but people trash Dragon Ball GT, and so far, just looking at this arc, like these past 3 episodes, I am enjoying myself. I am, like, with the, like, Black Star Dragon Ball arc in the earlier episodes, I was enjoying it in the most technical sense of the term, to where, like, I wasn't bored and I wasn't in pain and I was somewhat engaged, and I wasn't regretting my decision to spend money on this. But with this, I am, like, more so entertained. I am entertained. Again, I know I say this every single episode. It's not like this compares to the very best of Dragon Ball or the very best of Dragon Ball Z, but it is maybe a bit underrated. I mean, I would need to finish watching the series, and the fact that I had to slog through a lot of episodes to get to this better part definitely did not help it. But we'll see where stuff goes. I'm interested, I'm invested, I'm entertained. I want to see what happens next. Yeah. If you enjoyed my possible, I mean, at this rate, I might become one of those Dragon Ball GT defenders, which I didn't want to, I don't want to be a Dragon Ball GT defender, because there's already other stuff where I'm like, where people are like, that's bad, and I'm like, no, I thought this show or this movie was pretty good, and I hate being that person. I'd rather just be part of the popular opinion, but who knows. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, then feel free to check out my other Dragon Ball GT episode reviews. I am going through the entire series episode by episode. I'm watching it through for the very first time. And stay tuned for further reviews down the line. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely day.